What's going on, YouTube? Rukari here, back with another episode of the Minotaur Hotel, and I don't know exactly what's going on, but it seems a little bit spooky. Just cut me some slack, it's been like a year. From the confines of the darkest web of mankind's making, something most foul comes forth. It slithers on electromagnetic waves and crawls inside your cell phone. The protocol-enabled creation takes a shape most despicable, resulting in the incessant buzzing which awakens you. Oh, you're just pissed off about an alarm clock? By the gods, why didn't you silence your phone before going to bed? A fatal mistake if there ever was one. You try to ignore it, but alas, the sender is insistent. It is imperative that you dedicate your attention to this matter of utmost importance. You grope around your nightstand for the phone. Cursed invention. Literally, you are just getting a call on what appears to be an older model iPhone. An unknown sender has entrusted you with images. Behold now. A cow? The bull knows something? The bull knows emoji, something, monkey, fire, secret, shush face, contemplation. But what does he knows? Shock emoji, gas, snorting emoji, more cows, exclamation point, question mark, gritting teeth. I don't know what is going on with that guy in the corner. I'm sorry, come to my homotel? Excuse me? Who be texting this shit? Blam, 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 lick, 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 lick. Oh. The boy deserves jujubes? The only thing I know that of as is a British candy. And that's only because of Doctor Who. Eat grass, fuck grass. What is going on? What wretched oh, yeah, that makes a little more sense now. What wretched creations! And you have seen these compression artifacts before, precisely last night when Asterion gave you a glimpse of his conversations with Lucas Walker Griffin. Cryptic memes added to the other folder. As soon as the opportunity arises, you approach the Griffin for a thorough investigation. Why, Luke? Why? Luke, I need to have a word with you. At your service, boss man, sir. How can I be of use to a fine man such as yourself? Were you the one who sent me pictures today? Excuse me, you want me to send pictures? Now that's nasty, Rukari. I thought you and Asterion were a thing. No, that's not what I meant at all. Look, here, did you send me these? You show Luke your phone, taking care not to let him touch it. Those talons of his would destroy the screen. His reaction comes in 3 acts. First, confusion, as he struggles to make out the text. Then a smile as it all dawns upon him. The 3rd act brings it with his maddened, ear-piercing shriek/cackle. I'm not trying to do that. Yep, you sure caught. Yep, sure you caught me. That's me, alright. Can't believe you caught me dead to rights like that. Shit, I gotta send you my stash. Got a whole folder of memes and porn and meme porn. You're gonna love it. Meme porn? What is meme porn? I don't want to know what meme porn is. Don't tell me. Excuse me? Yeah, I don't know how to make a new folder on my phone, so I keep it all together. You mind if I just send you the whole thing? No! I mean, don't send me that! But it is too late. Luke is already clawing away at his phone to send you all his weird porn. You are left with no other choice. You must save yourself from this travesty. You escape to your office. At this point, just turn your phone off, block sender, something like that. Luke, why? How did we get here? Why are you torturing me like this? Okay. Let's manage our teams. Wolfie, you have one job, and that is to protect everybody out in the wilds. Also, apparently Wolfie cannot do R&D, which is sad, but it's fine. You can find materials. What are you good at? Because I feel like artifacts could be useful. And Coda's got better R&D skills. Okay, so that works, and then we can either talk to Robert or work on Asterion's project. I feel like I've been trying really hard to work on Asterion's project, and I need a lot of materials if we're gonna get anything done, and I would like to at least get the gym done. To that extent, you can only do contract, and we need tech. Okay, you know what? Let's have you guys focus, and we'll just have Wolf explore, while Asterion and me work on his project. You're not allowed to go outside anyways, so sure, that works out. Confirm plan. I have tea, because every time I do Luke's voice, I die inside and outside. Asterion helps you carefully carry the replicas of the Minoan artifacts you found in the storage room over to the office. I feel like this is a good enough selection of writing samples, isn't it?
This does appear sufficient, yes.
Cool, so now we need to take clear pictures of each artifact from different angles to show the researchers.
Should I summon a camera?
That won't be strictly necessary. You have your phone, right?
True, I keep forgetting just how many things it can do.
At first, you think you ought to summon a real cyclorama wall? What the heck is a cyclorama wall? At first, you think you ought to summon a real cyclorama wall, but worries come about how that would mesh with your cover story if the photos are too crisply professional. It should be just professional enough, like you're amateurs. Hobbyists. Strategically keeping it simple, you pull a good white sheet, a small key light, and a fill light into existence. After adjusting them a little, you decide to add some soft lighting hoods as well. You almost ask Asterion for a ruler and coffee mug to show scale, but then you remember exactly what you've just spent the last handful of minutes doing. After taking a photo of the whole lot for general scale, Asterion places the artifacts on the backdrop one by one, and you take pictures with your phone. After the 5th clay tablet, you tell Asterion it's his turn to take the pictures. It's your project, after all.
Sure. How do I take pictures with this again?
You carefully place the tablet down, walk up to him, and give him a hand. Alright, you press this button here to pull up the camera. What you see on the screen is what the picture will look like. Once you're ready, touch the thing on the screen you want to focus on, then press this button on the side. That'll take the pic.
Like this?
Asterion holds the phone awkwardly with one hand and taps the screen with his other index finger. The image comes out blurry. Try like this. You stand in front of Asterion and place his right hand on the phone, making him hold it with both hands. There, see how it's steadier? Just use your thumb to take the pic. Try holding your breath before you press the shutter. Asterion turns the phone and peers at the lens.
Is it really still called a shutter when there is no shutter?
He shrugs and then continues his quest for clear photography. Here you recall the wondrous technology of tripods, but there is a fear of hurting Asterion's feelings should you bring it up now. You hear the phone make a shutter noise. Asterion turns to you, and you can see a much clearer picture of your torso with a little bit of your chin poking from the top edge of the screen. Well, it's definitely steadier. Just aim it at the artifacts this time. Asterion takes pictures of the clay tablet from different angles, and the two of you scroll through them afterwards. The second to last one is not half bad. He's getting the hang of it.
Rukari, do you mind if I take another picture of you?
If it helps you practice, I don't mind at all. Asterion stands back and aims the phone towards you. You hear the shutter noise go off several times. See, you're getting the hang of it. You both continue taking pictures of the samples, and occasionally of each other. Then you teach Asterion how to move the files from his phone to his tablet, and how to upload the pictures to the cloud. While you're sending the research team a link to the cloud folder, you hear Asterion giggling behind you. What's up?
Look at this, Rukari. Luke taught me how to do it.
Asterion shows you his tablet. He's changed his unlock screen to a picture of the two of you side by side, making goofy faces at the camera. That is so precious, and I love him so much, and I want his eternal happiness and sunshine. Let's check in on the R&D team. We can complete a project. Do you want to complete your research or continue working towards something else? We can add a bar to the swimming pool or ignore and keep researching. I want to ignore and keep researching because I'm trying to get the gym. We keep his progress and work on other projects. Our goal is the gym. Exploration team. We got really lucky. 8 raw materials, twice what we expected. And something else. A clay tablet narrating a man's encounter with one of divine nature. You can read it by opening the files in the menu. One thing I want to avoid, because I would love everyone to go and play this game as well, is I'm not actually going to read all of the tablets and things on screen. You should play the game, and then you can read them. Because I think you should play the game. It's really fun, and I love my boys. Later in the afternoon, you found Asterion going over the letter again. He put it away as soon as you approached. Afterwards, however, his gaze would wander away from any task, no matter how small. His mind was elsewhere, perhaps swimming in the dark of the cold room in which he had been locked. Just what could that old man want in sending you and Asterion a letter? If only he'd had the grace to bow out and allow his memory to fade away from the Minotaur's mind. You asked Asterion to remain by your side. You manned the lazy reception together, which allowed you to keep his mind busy with chit-chat. When you talked about the world outside, his gaze would soften. If his breathing was somehow perturbed, all you had to do was hum, perhaps sing, and he would follow your lead. But there was only so much you could do. You asked him to go out with you for some fresh air in the hopes that it would clear out all the stale thoughts which smothered him. You told him to take his time, but he would not. "I was made to work and bear the yoke," he said. To which you responded with tender grace. "If that's so, then would you be so kind as to tidy up the garden where Lord Hades' statue is?" Your words were music to his ears. He wasted not a single minute and trotted down to his task, one which would hopefully bring him some measure of peace. Some alone time, as much as he needed, even if he was unwilling to allow it for himself without a proper excuse, would do him well. And so you spent the rest of the afternoon alone in your office, looking over the previous master's documents and belongings. The drawers were filled with finely organized folders containing intricate records of all the guests the hotel had housed, going back to the early 20th century. And yet the paperwork could not lie. Jean-Marie's methodical record-keeping was replaced almost overnight by Clement's contemptuous carelessness. Lipstick marks on the same sheets where Asterion's scrawls detailed damage to rooms and facilities, the reports crossed over with a thick black ink. Cigar burns on complaints from staff about unpaid wages, pleading for their superior to take the mere minutes required to fabricate the diamonds they were promised. Spilled coffee and beer on a dozen or so check-in sheets of young women with fine, noble-sounding names. And then you found another ledger shoved down to the very bottom of a drawer, which detailed the employment of every staff member from the 40s to centuries back. Every new worker and what they were owed, their date of retirement plans for how they would be cared for even in their frailest old age. Employees from 100 different countries. China, Mexico, Egypt, Brazil, and now after spending hours sorting through your predecessor's mess, you get up from your chair and look out the window. The sky above a snaking mass of clouds, letting through only shy peaks of the sunset orange above them, and the wretched valley below, stained with thousands of years of injustice, nevertheless provides a soothing breeze. What happened to all those people after Clement threw them out? One can only hope they managed to find their way home unscathed. They definitely did not, though. We have proof of that. However, seeing how sudden his tantrum was, there's no way of telling, and since at least a handful of employees had left their passports here, who's to say they got out with their savings in hand? This is the legacy Clement left behind, a paper trail of mismanagement, a consumed survivor, and a generation of displaced people. Now that man who had made his crime seem like a youth's foolishness has the gall to make himself known once more? The timeless sky, the breeze untainted by man-made smoke and soot, the comfort of your office, altogether they could do much to ease one's mind, but not enough to rid you of the bile at the back of your tongue. You look down to the valley, a place both cursed and beautiful. How cruel are the gods to mix a drop of mercy with a sentence of eternal damnation. Far down, all the way down from the safety of the hotel, you see it squirming. A drop of the god's curse, alive even today. It's Argos doing something by the exit below. It has been a few days since he last called you. It's about time he caused trouble once more. You lay a hand over your armband. This time he can do no damage. Even if you wanted to command Asterion out, not even your desire could cause the Minotaur pain now. But you know him well enough to realize that even just Argos' flute is enough to cause distress, and so, like a disgruntled neighbor, you make your way down the spiral staircase. And out to the valley. I want to punch him. He does not see or hear your approach. He's absorbed in his work, placing a few objects by the feet of one of the statues lining the hotel's exit. Also, slightly unfortunately, there is actually a newer version of this game that improves Argos' art. However, I tried to download it and it was not working with my save file, so we're still playing on version 6 because when I started I did the safer workflow. Complicated stuff, no need to worry about it, but there is newer stuff and more stuff which you can totally check out. I just can't without having to replay everything from prior chapters. The snake, the labyrinth's foreman. How sick it is that this being whose mission it is to torment Asterion could not bring about a fraction of the harm a crazed, twisted human could achieve. One must wonder how frightful Argos' sadism can be when the snake holds no power to bring his victim out himself. You touch the armband. Now neither do you. Hello, Argos.
Gah! Master, how did you...
I saw you from my office window. Seemed like you were trying to start trouble again, so I thought I should just come down and get it over with.
Trouble indeed. I know all about it. But get it over with, sire. You have only just arrived. Why the hurry?
I really don't have the time or the patience for your your antics. I'd rather you just tell me what you have to, and then I'll tell you what I think about it, and we can both go on back to our lives.
Oh, my lord, what is it that ails your spirit? Has the Minotaur failed his duties somehow? Has a guest disrespected your hospitality?
Hospitality? Not a word about Asterion. He's done nothing to cause any ill will, and our guests only bring joy. Don't imply such things again. I won't stand for it. You're the only thing irritating me right now, you stupid snake.
I have overstepped, have I not? I regret my words and the distress they have brought upon you, my lord. It is not my goal or desire to bring strife to you. Yours should be a life showered with the finest of pleasures, plentiful in milk and wine, much like Elysium is said to be.
You say that, but you've caused me nothing but strife, second only to what we experienced recently. I received a very unpleasant letter from Clement a couple of days ago, you know. It reminded Asterion of everything that happened to him and the previous guests. It's all fine now, but I'm still not in the mood to deal with you on top of all that. The snake's gaze drops to the ground as he readjusts his pelt. His shoulders droop, his tongue shoots out a half-dozen times. His tail coils around itself. At last he looks back up at you, like a child at the teacher.
While it is my duty to inflict distress and grief upon the hybrid bull, I am also meant to assist in your affairs. Sire, with all the humility of my slithering servitude, which cannot hope to possess the greatness of the human mind, please allow me to interject. Are you sure this letter comes from Clement?
Who else could it be? I don't know anyone else who'd do something like this.
Could it be a prank? Mankind is supposed to be playful, yes? Maybe a reprobate has, perchance, set out to bring grief to your lordship.
A reprobate like you, perchance.
Me bring you grief? Perish the thought. For our most esteemed master, I wish only joy and glory.
Gentler than rain, the snake lets out a sweet, playful hiss. Sure, whatever. So, Argos, why were you going to call me out here today? What are you planning this time?
Ah, my moment to shine arrives. Indeed, I have yet another task for you and your followers. I've gathered a treasure trove of artifacts for you, my lord. You may possess them and their inscrutable knowledge. If you send the hybrid to the greater the depths, then no thank you. Pardon? If your proposal hinges on sending Asterion out, I'll have to deny it regardless of the reward. But sire, what I have here is truly a fortuitous finding. It's an essential document which Clement threw down into the valley during his rage. It doesn't matter. I'm not going to send Asterion out. Even if I wanted to, I'm forbidden from doing so. Forbidden? Why, you are sovereign over this land and its laws. Just what could possibly prohibit you from doing as you please? Oh, many things. My staff, for starters. They've learned the truth of Asterion's past and will revolt if I even think about mistreating him. Then find new, better workers. They are as disposable as broken tools. You rub your temples and give him a glare. Argos shrinks back on himself. People aren't disposable. Forgive me. From your tone, I assume again, faux pas, as they say. But my point still stands. Being peer-pressured by your staff doesn't mean you are prohibited. Maybe, but neither do I want to mistreat Asterion, and there's a third factor as well. You tap the lead armband. This. Oh, what a drab piece of jewelry, my lord. This armband is part of a contract, Argos. It binds me from sending Asterion out here. What do you mean? That's impossible! You can't forbid yourself from doing the Master's duty. The Labyrinth would never enable such a thing. We were a bit creative, you see. If I send Asterion out, or anyone else to coerce him, then this band will amputate my arm. The snake's eyes pass over your armband, as if trying and failing to find anything noteworthy about it. It is as though he cannot comprehend what you mean. In other words, if I send Asterion out, I will bleed to death. There's just a little sinking down lower and lower. The contract is binding and cannot be revoked. I will never, ever be able to send him out. Chances are he'll never come down here again for as long as I live. And believe me, I intend to make sure my successor upholds the same standard. This is the end of your mission. Hopefully, the end of it for all eternity. I'm putting a stop to this senseless torture for good. All at once, Argos crumbles. He sways and leans back as though being swung around. The snake holds and squeezes his head until a knife of gray iron sinks to his breast and... Wait, what? Hold on. The snake holds and squeezes his head until a knife of gray iron sinks into his breast and severs his life thread in a pang of agony. He crumples like flowers undone, torn from their stalks, and cries like a boy mourning his father. No! By the 12, by bright-eyed Athena, by all-powerful Lord Zeus, this can't be! He lunges forward and grabs you up in a hug. He corrupted you, tarnished your very flesh with his curse. You are tainted, my lord, dirty with this fetid contract. There must be a way to release you from these shackles, a loophole, an inconsistency. There's no turning back. This is how things will be from now on. For good. So I suggest you take your... Forget the treasures! What good are they? What are they good for if you can't? If I can't? By the 12, what a wretched contract. He lets out the chest-heaving, heart-rending sobs of a child. Perhaps this is what he deserves, this snake meant to torture a prisoner. And yet what harm has he brought compared to the dozens, hundreds of masters before you who held the power to stop all harm from coming to the Minotaur, and did not? This sorry beast is but a blip in the grand scheme that has brought Asterion so much suffering. Honestly, I kind of feel bad for him, because, you know,
He doesn't really have an existence outside of this. You know what, we're gonna give him a hug. Perhaps a torturer like him, in the strictest sense of justice, should not deserve much in the way of kindness. The gods and their whims sentence mortals to grievous fates. What is there to understand in it? And yet, regardless of how unfair it is for him to grieve at all, for this brief moment you can offer a measure of sympathy. Like Asterion does to his lyre, you hug Argos in return with all the open-heartedness of a father. Your hands lay over his scapula, and what a contrast they are to the Minotaur's wide back. It should be no surprise that the snake is lean, but in truth he is beyond bony. He tenses up as you squeeze. You think he may slither away at the contact, but his shoulders relax as he whimpers and groans. His own grasp tightens. He sobs into your chest, your shoulders getting wet from tears and snot, but you graciously ignore it. You constrict him against you just a bit, every other labored heave. What peculiar tapestry the gods have woven, is it not? Here lies the foreman, a wretched serpent who nonetheless could never cause a fraction of the damage Clement had. Did the old man ever feel grief like this? Can he fathom the days and nights Asterion spent locked in the cold room? And the gods, whatever they are, wherever they are, do they even remember this forsaken land and the lonesome prisoner they left behind? And Argus himself, do they think of him? He may be above Asterion, but he's still a cursed prisoner surviving off of bugs and rodents. When you look at him, when he speaks to you, is he cognizant of the wretchedness of the fate he's been assigned? He bears his duty like a badge of honor, when in truth it is a shackle as tight-clasped as the Minotaur's. He gives you one final squeeze, head still buried in your chest. He may not wish to let go, but there is no delaying the disentangling of limbs. You ought not apologize for your actions. The contract, the armband, all of it is fair and just. And yet, after witnessing Argos wailing, wouldn't it only be fitting to say you are sorry? One should never apologize to a torturer, however. So instead, you say the second best thing. It's unfortunate things to have come to this, but it is what it is.
I see.
The snake looks to the stash of trinkets he had been placing at the feet of the statues, then back to you.
My intention was for you to send Asterion deeper into the valley, to retrieve another offering, but in truth, I meant to deliver the reward to you regardless of the results. So go on, have it. Forget the task, just take it. It should belong to you regardless.
An ochre-colored clay dish with a black minotaur painted on it. A set of clay dolls mounted on a single base, a round minotaur holding a human's right hand, and a snake person holding the man's left. Almost a nativity with how wide they smile, and under it all is a sheet of parchment, aged but as intact as the day it was created. What's all this? Argos looks at the clay dolls as he rubs a forearm on his snotty nose. He says nothing until he moves closer and picks up the sheet of paper.
This is a copy of the contract that gave birth to this very realm, or at least a fragment of it. The Labyrinth's constitution. Your contracts are powerful, my lord, but make no mistake, a human's will can never compare to that of the gods. You will find that no attempt at amending or revoking this document will bear fruit. It is superior to us all, and we are all bound to obey it. You will glimpse much of the labyrinth's inner workings by poring over it.
He extends it to you. For a flash, his sorrow dies out, and only resolution remains. Argos gave you the labyrinth's constitution. You can read it in the contract section of the files menu. Thank you, Argos. I'll make good use of it.
Of course you will. You are a wily one, master.
But what about you? What'll you do now that you won't be, torturing Asterion?
The
desert wind howls as the foreman gaze shies away. What life could this wretched being have now? Would you mind answering a few of my questions?
Your wish is my command, master.
Do you have any family? Is there someone waiting for you down in the depths of the valley? A village of snake people or a magical animal of sorts? Anyone you can talk with?
Oh, but of course. There's my pelt for starters.
You mean the one you're wearing?
Yes, what else? It's been handed down for generations of Argoi. It is our inheritance and our constant companion. And that's not all. You've seen the kind creatures who roam this valley. The crawling, shrieking ladies, all their family of coal-born beings.
Yes, but they don't talk, do they? It's not company. You just mentioned having generations before you. Do you have a father or grandfather?
I have pedigree, my lord, but not in that sense. I did not meet my predecessors, no. They toiled in their own time, and now I bear their mantle.
So you've been alone here for... How old are you? Who raised you?
I was no helpless infant, my lord. I raised myself, as all serpents ought to do.
Oh dear God, he's a latchkey kid.
And what a puzzling question that is. How old am I? How should I know? Do humans count a name each day and night? I would never bore myself with such a task.
So you grew up alone, and you don't know how old you are. But that doesn't make sense. How do you know how to speak or what you're supposed to do? You mentioned the Greek heroes and gods, but how do you even know who they were and what they did? His smile broadens, but his eyes remain half closed, as if in caution.
Can't you guess it yourself?
I can't see any logical explanation, no. Magic?
The labyrinth tells me, master. Its minds have told me all I need to know. It has been a long time since they last spoke, but all I know comes from them.
No, Argus, I've never heard of such a thing. This place has not one, but multiple minds?
Just like any regular human. Or perhaps, does my lord lack the competing wants and desires that so plague mankind? Do you not feel conflict, greed, and lust clashing with humility and chastity?
Listen, having a set of wants at odds with each other is not the same as having multiple minds. That's a whole different thing.
Hey, you still have much to learn. Do you perhaps think your mind alone is capable of commanding the realm to craft all that you may wish for? The labyrinth's minds hear your plea, read your instructions, and they do the dirty work of putting it all together. Say, have you tried creating life yet? A pet, a tree, flowers, perhaps?
I remember trying to make flowers, yes, but with no success.
Of course not. You barely know the full extent of your powers. And you've already signed them off to the hybrid. How about I teach you a trick, a little revelation for your personal enjoyment?
I don't know if I want to learn anything from you. The snake slithers away, taking off his pelt and draping it over one of the statues. An old man of imposing eyebrows who wields a trident. Okay, Poseidon, we got that. Oh, you look weird without a thing on your head. Before proceeding, however, he collects a book from what seems to be an inner pocket sewn into the pelt's back.
Think of life, master. How about one of those tiny lions domesticated by humans? A cat, that's what you call them. Or perhaps bees, hornets, flies, anything will do.
It is no more difficult than creating diamonds in the palm of your hand. From around your feet, 1, 2, 3 cats crawl into existence. From your fingertips, little thoughts grow into a plethora of bugs. For a moment, you, Argus, and all this life is suspended in a moment of grace. Then one of the cats shifts its gaze away from the horizon and towards the statue and pelt. Like a compressed coil, they all burst and leap with sudden fury towards the foreman's discarded mantle. It lasts only a moment. Just as they are about to make contact with it, your mind springs into action as well to command them all out of existence. What just happened?
You witnessed it. This, too, is the labyrinth's nature. Any flora will attempt to do the same if given the chance. Which is why a master, long ago, put in place a contract to forbid animal and plant life from being summoned above the valley. Now you know why you cannot create life and why the land above is a lifeless, deathless desert. This and much more I have been told by the labyrinth's immortal minds.
This keeps getting more and more complicated. Thank you for showing me this. I didn't know.
Of course you didn't. The hybrid you keep above, he's full of seldom shared secrets.
You're not gonna make me distrust him.
Ashamed of it all, I imagine. I would be too. Every secret unveiled comes with knowledge of what he's been through. I've barely seen him in my life, but I know much of the paths his hooves have trod. He longs to live a fantasy of being like any other human. He would rather have you and everyone else, all your staff, kept away from the truth.
And what truth are you talking about?
All of it, every crumb and morsel of his sentence. So none will pity him. If you would care to know my opinion, he is pitiable, perhaps one of the most so among all victims of the god's ire. What a wretched, cursed fate. But he does not wish for you to think so. You would do well to, as much as possible, let him enjoy normalcy.
Why are you telling me this? Aren't you supposed to be his torturer instead of my counselor?
No. You are supposed to be the jailer. I am meant to be your assistant. Over all these centuries, how often do you think the Argoi, my ancestors, were the ones who raised a hand against the hybrid? You are the Lord, thrice blessed by the Olympians to bring about justice. I am merely here to witness, to teach, and to spur. But that does not answer your question, why I said that. I am no fool, my lord. When you asked about my companionship, did I notice a drop of worry, or was it care? Do you pity me for my upbringing, for the life I lead here? I am not as proud as the hybrid sire. I am honored knowing you would dedicate even the smallest shred of your attention to my well-being. The Minotaur, I hope he cherishes you too. You are shaping up to become a most peculiar lord. Thousands of years, and none saw fit to try a stunt as foolish as that wretched armband which tarnishes your visage. Are you surprised by my words?
I'll admit you've shown an unexpected side of yourself today. It is surprising, to say the least.
Make no mistake, I am still bound by duty, but bringing grief to Asterion is only part of it. I must teach you about this land and the power you wield, so you may become the finest lord yet. I suppose finest is a bit beyond our grasp now, isn't it? As long as you have that armband, which would seem to be until death do you part. But my duty remains, so if you would tolerate me every now and then, I would enjoy revealing to you a few more of the labyrinth's secrets.
Don't get me wrong, the offer is tempting, but you're sounding quite traitorous today. If the Olympians, wherever they may be, won't strike you down for this or whatever, then sure, I may accept your offer. But I have to ask first, are you offering me this so you won't be alone down here?
Me? Lonely? I have my pelt, a dozen anthills, and voices which speak inside my head. Of course I am.
but it's not kind of you to point it out. Then again, kindness is hardly my strong suit either. I will admit, I've grown fond of our clashes of wit. 'Tis like the old tales, it all brings such warmth to my heart. Oh, little asshole. Wait. What the fuck? Hold on, back it up. I'm gonna try to read what he said. Anthills, of course I am, but it's not kind of you to point it out. Then again, kindness is hardly my strong suit either. I will admit I've grown fond of our clashes of wit. You know, despite the armband, I am proud to... Did you hear something just... Light and sound are washed away as whatever it is approaches. It's a bull! It's a bull! I don't know what just happened, but I do know that I'm gonna be a jerk, and we're gonna find out in the next episode, because this is a really good stopping point. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you're enjoying everything that's coming back to life, just like whatever the fuck clay Minotaur bull thing. I hope that wasn't the bull that Poseidon... No, that was a white bull. I don't know. We'll find out in the next episode, okay? Okay. Goodbye!